Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host, and here we are to fight CPS. Stop taking our children. I know it's Thanksgiving, and we have a lot to be thankful for. I'm very thankful for the people I know and the people I try to take care of. It is a blessing, and some of us are fortunate than others. It's a hard time for me because Thanksgiving this evening, there's no family. So maybe on Saturday, Sunday, we'll have Thanksgiving with the family because my two youngest boys decided to go off with their sisters at their sister's place and so forth. So it is hard. It's hard to be because you want to be with people that you care about. Time is thankful. I'm thankful for all my people I know. It's a blessing and stuff. So anyway, you reached a live podcast. And it's hard because we're here fighting the CPS, which I call the Child Protection System. Now, the Child Protection System has been around for a long time, but lately it's been taking a back seat to reunification of our children and to help our families. You see, Congress passed, and I'm trying to find the date of that. It probably happened during the second, or maybe it was the third time. See, CPS says there are three timeline bars with CPS. First, it was from the 1600s to the 1875, and then from 1875 to 1962, and then 1962 to the present. And Congress has mandated that a part of social service is designated to protect our children from neglect and abuse. There are social workers told to protect our children from negligence and abuse. Furthermore, if you're in need, they're supposed to help you with food and shelter and clothing and transportation. Also, educational for your children, for you, and then medical. And last but not least, to help you find a job. They're supposed to help you because a lot of families are in need of all that. And they're supposed to help you with family reunification because studies have shown that the best parents are the biological parents. Well, what happened in 1997 is President Clinton signed into law the Incentive Act, which basically says we'll give Social Security X number of dollars for every person that they get adopted. And what it's done is hurt the reunification. More kids are being adopted today than 10 or 15 years ago, and less reunification's taking place. And that's sad because now the agency is purely about making money. It's $1 trillion business. They go to parents that are low income, that don't have attorneys, and not too smart. Now, I'm one of those. I thought I had pretty good smarts, college educated, beautiful home. And unfortunately, it happened to me in 2010 as I lost my job through no fault of my own. Now, I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week. You find me coming on at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and then again at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But tonight, I came on early this morning at a one-time thing at 7:30 because I wanted to spend Thanksgiving with my boys and the football team. And so they had an early morning Thanksgiving. So much kudos goes out to my producer, Grace. She's the one that works behind the scenes, helps me organize, and helps make things great. And I really appreciate her. I also appreciate Mr. Davis. He put on that short little message about his live podcast on Saturday. Please make every effort to be there at 10 o'clock because I'm going to come on at 8 o'clock to give more opportunity for people to see his podcast live. And he will help you. He's one of those overqualified attorneys. He has 35 years in the business fighting CPS. He's a trial attorney, and his law expertise is juvenile family dependency law. That's the kind of attorney you need to find. Somebody that does juvenile family dependency law. And he's also fought CPS on civil suits. After your case is over, you can do a civil suit. And he's fought federal and state courts and won millions of dollars. So he's the real deal. He's the real deal. And he's an excellent attorney who's my attorney. I had hired him. And so that's how we connected. But my case was bad. It took... Well, when they stole my children or trafficked my children or alienated my children, which is illegal, by the way, they did that in 2015. In 2010, they harassed me. I had lost my job, as I told you earlier, and I did not know that lay people like my in-laws, my wife's mother and father and 3 sisters and brothers from Ohio, decided to make up stories every week. So for 5 years, I was constantly harassed. I let them see my house. Everything that they was accused was false. Well, somehow these people kept calling in to the point that they got aggravated and they had gotten the police involved. And so the detective forced me to go to my home and open it up, and it was a tragedy because, unfortunately, I had taken my parents' belongings, and my parents' belongings were in the living room, and it was too much clutter, and they thought I was in danger of the kids. And the kids were in school, by the way. They weren't in danger. The rest of the house was excellent. It's only my family's, my mother and father. See, my dad had died. My mother was struggling to send the stuff. They had collected a lot in 55 years of marriage. And they were great parents. And they were very loving parents. They had 55-year marriage, which shows a lot. And my dad was in the military for 35 years and fought 3 wars. So I had good upbringing and so forth. But apparently I did not prepare myself for the child protection system, which you all have gotten yourself into. And I want to welcome people as they come to my room because I know this is Thanksgiving, and I'm just glad that you did. Because a lot of you aren't with your family. A lot of you are broken apart, and I'm sorry to hear that. So this child protection system, as I call it, mandated by Congress to, protect our children, isn't doing a very good job. Unfortunately, this week on Monday, that's just a couple days, a 5-year-old girl in Kansas was picked up, and she was so far, she didn't have much to live, and they tried to revise, make her live again, but they lost. She had been raped by a 25-year-old man, kicked out of the house, and then came into a wilderness camp where things even got worse for her. So all I'm just saying, here is a 5-year-old child. Where is CPS? I asked you out there. I've had 3 of you talk to me on my podcast, but where's the rest of you? Why is it 99%, over 600 people have said bad stories about CPS? Not all of CPS is corrupt. But I guess, sadly to say, it is, and that's why you come into my room. Because I'm here trying to help you. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a family man. I have 42 years of marriage, a lot of experience. I have 6 children, 3 older ones, and 3 younger ones. But CPS, I lost my home because I had to sell it to hire an attorney. I lost my 12-year-old daughter because a social worker had committed perjury, and in retaliation, she had told her daughter she could emancipate from her parents, divorce mom and dad, divorce her brothers, divorce her 2 sets of grandparents, her aunts, uncles, and cousins, change her name completely, seal her birth certificate, get a new birth certificate, new social security card, and be adopted. And she's now 22, and she did all this at age 12. So we've not seen her since 12. And of course, our family's been broken in half with my wife's parents doing what they did. So we have a really dysfunctional group of people. And it's mean because here they are. My sons are traipsing over to have Thanksgiving with my daughter who has a different name, a different family. It's her sister. We always encourage you to keep in touch with her sister. My older daughter's there too with her kids. And the other two children, they've just gotten distant. But anyway, I'm so glad you're here, Faye. Welcome, Faye. Faye is from Richmond, Kentucky. God bless you and happy Thanksgiving, Faye. Faye says, she said a nice message. Besides saying hi to me, she says she's smart. I just didn't know that CPS didn't have to follow law and constitutional protective rights. You're right. You're right, Faye. That's a good point to put it. Welcome, Faye. Faye is one of those people I've met in my talks, my show, who's been on my show many times. She'll call in and help you all with your caseload. She'll talk to people on Facebook. She'll even let you call or email her, and she'll talk to you. But she's a single mom. She's in her 40s now. When she was a small child, she was brought up in and out of foster care because her mother was very abusive. Her mother, in fact, when she had two children, was trying to steal one of her child because the child with special needs, the girl. She has two children with special needs, a boy who's older than her girl, but she lost her girl at age 8, thanks to her mom. And it's so funny because they said that she couldn't take care of her son's special needs, but his special needs were so rough that CPS couldn't take care of him. In fact, they gave her a boy to live with her on the weekends. I mean, what kind of a CPS racket is that in Richmond, Kentucky? Rough. As a small child, in and out, she was abused, molested, and raped, and sexual trafficked and tortured to stand for hours at a time on sharp rocks. So her feet are so bad. I'm sorry, not 8 months. I apologize, Faye. I'm trying to be accurate. It's 8 weeks old, not age 8. Yeah, I meant to say 8 weeks. If I said 8 months, I meant to say 8 weeks. You're right. So anyway, Faye has been through a lot, and she's struggling like the rest of us is. Have to find a place to live. She had her place, but the owners decide to sell it. They don't care about the tenants. Tenants are on their own. But she was going back and forth at Thanksgiving. I'm glad that she had Thanksgiving because my Thanksgiving right now is spending time with you all in the room. There's about 10 of you in here, and Faye is one doing the talking here. So I'm glad that you're doing that, Faye. Now we were talking about CPS and what kind of an animal it is. It's terrible, and how they stole my daughter, they alienated my daughter, and trafficked. That's all against the laws. And we also talked about I'm on, twice a day, 7 days a week. And I was giving my hours on Saturday for Vincent's show. Sunday I'm on again at 8 o'clock. So I go to church. So, and then Friday night I'll be on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because I got an important football game with my son and family that night. It's Friday Night Lights, high school football. They're going for the Southern California Championship. And so they'll play the winner of the Northern California Championship. So they have a tough game tomorrow. I talked to most of the boys today. I treat those boys like family because, when my son started out, and I actually before him, I've been following that school and going to the football games for Oh, God, it seems like almost 20 years since 2015. So that's almost 10 years, I guess. Yeah, 10 years. And I've been to every one of the games, and I've been, both my boys, went to the same school. And I greet them on the bus after the game. I go to the grotto and pray. And it's a very good family. They always respectfully say, Mr. Pace, and thank you for your support. So it's something I do. Now, hi, Just Me. Hey, great to see you are still doing these shows. Yes, Just for Me. I think I remember you. I was hit by a semi truck. Oh, no. And was out of commission for a bit. Sorry to disappear after saying a word. I'd call in again. That's no problem, Just Me. I forgot what city and state you're from, and I don't remember much about your case, Just for Me. We have Faye in here, and I've been talking about her, and then I was talking about my show times and telling her to be in there. So it's 14 shows there. And I've already defined what CPS is, what I call a child protection system. I know in every state they have different names. Arizona's Department of Children's Services, even county to county, like in LA County's Department of Children and Family Services. In Orange County next door, it's the Child Protection Services. So they're going to confuse us. So I just say child protection system. That means every state in worldwide. When I mention worldwide, I have about 17 countries that have texted here. And I've had Bangladesh and India, the Middle East, many countries in Africa, many countries in Europe, then across the pond to North America, Canada, the United States, and Mexico. And then down in South America, have several countries there. Then across the Pacific to the land down under, I have Australia and New Zealand. So it's a good cross-reference of people that have been on my podcast. Now, Leica Hartzenberg, welcome. And you're from South Africa. I remember you. Hi, Leica. I think you're from what's called the West Cape. Is that the province in South Africa? You was in Siskowski. Where was that? Just Me. Where was that? So we have Leica from South Africa. Welcome. I'm glad to have all of you here tonight. No matter where you are, I welcome you all. And as most of you may already know, there are 4 ways to interact with this podcast. One right now in this room. You can do emojis and check the following button and check notification. Now, if you want to text, and all of you are doing a good job texting me, all you have to do is, all I ask you to do, whoops, I got the wrong one there. I'm sorry. Let me get it there. Okay, these have gone out of order here. I was used to being a certain way. Hold on a second here. I had these arranged a certain way. Now they're all out of order here. Yeah, here's the comments. That used to be below this one here, so I'll move it down. And then I'll move my number down below this one here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Another way to interact with this podcast is to type in a comment and make your comment a question or a comment. I mean, type in a message. Make yourself a comment or a question about CPS. Please show your first name, your city, your state, your city or your county, the state, and of course, from countries, try to put your country or provinces. Like we have the South Africa person tonight, so I'm so glad there. And try to be complete with your case. A third way is to let me get up there here. Is to be a guest on my podcast. To be a guest, you're going to contact my producer at grace@vincentwdavis.com, grace@vincentwdavis.com. All you do is pick one of my 14 shows, morning or afternoon, Sunday through Monday. That's all you have to say is you want to be on my show. And with that being said, she'll take care of the rest, send you a link, and use that link if you happen to come off. So, and she'll tell you what to do and not to do. The fourth way is to call in now. My phone number is up. That means you can call in 626-698-0990. And I'll gladly talk to you, but it's only available during showtime hours. Before my showtime hours, after, I cannot talk. So it's really important that you call during the showtime. So my phone's up. It's live. I broadcast on Vonage. And so that's my office number, 626-698-0990. That's direct to my office. There's another number on the screen, 888-888-6582. That's the number if you want to retain Mr. Davis or get one of his other attorneys. That's the law firm of Vincent W. Davis and Associates. You can call him to retain him, or if you need an immigration attorney or a divorce attorney, a criminal attorney, a real estate attorney, whatever your needs are, he has it all there. So my number will stay up there. Now, let's see. Northwest Province. Okay, Leica. I was close. It's the Northwest Province. Okay, I know where that is now. So, Just Me is from Siskiyou County, the last time I called. But Modoc, California was where my problems happened. At Modoc, that's Northern California. Oh, boy. So sorry, just me. So we have California, South Africa, and Kentucky. We're getting people in from around the world. It's so great to have you all here, and you're spending it on my Thanksgiving. You're making my Thanksgiving a blessed one. So thank you very much for y'all coming in here and being patient. Now, like it says, Pastorum. Room. That might be the South African name, I guess, but I'm glad. When I'm ready, I'm going to call in and tell you my story. I think you tried to the other day, and you had trouble with your phone provider. Remember, my country code is 01, and the area code 626-698-0990. And you should be able to reach me, Leica. And Just Me says, who's from California, sorry, I've lost sight and hearing on my right side, so I have a hard time hitting the right letters or sending and send on accident. That's no problem, Just Me. For all you don't know, she was a terrible car accident. She used to be on my show a while back, and she's come back again. And Lisa has a confession. You have a confession you need to tell all of you right now, if I may, please. Okay, Lycan, go ahead. Go ahead and tell your confession. So I've told about 4 ways to interact with this podcast. We got some rooms in there. You can all, yes, my whole story, I will phone in for soon, but I need to announce extremely good news. Oh, I want to hear the good news, Leica. I hope your case was solved. She's got some good news. I love good news. So if any of you want to call in, you're welcome to it. Faye, if you want to call in right now or you want to talk about things, I'm free to have you come aboard, Faye. You and I make a good team talking about things in this room. So I like to have someone call in. By the way, if you call in or a guest on my podcast, you are eligible for a free consultation with Mr. Davis for 15 minutes. All you have to do is be a guest on my podcast or call in and you're on the speakerphone. When you do that, I will ask you later if you'd like to speak to Mr. Davis for 15 minutes for free about your case. If you say yes, all you need to do is text me your full name, your email, and your phone number to my number there, 626-698-0990. I'll forward it on to Grace, who set up your time with Mr. Davis. That's 15 minutes. In fact, if you want longer time with Mr. Davis, I have a program I worked out with him for 30 minutes for $60. All you have to do is go to the website. It's on the bottom of my screen with a ticket running. It's 30 minutes, and you go to that website and you make your payment and your reservations there. And it's 30 minutes for $60. They'll stay on the whole time there. So that's another way you can talk to Vincent Davis. Leica says, after months of hell, Jesus won my court case. I'm still processing it. Well, I'm so glad that you got through and hope your children in your own hands, because, very few people call in and tell me that things are good. Now, KK Richardson is telling me all the time her progress. She's from Brooklyn, New York. And, oh, great, we got a call in. Okay. Good evening, and this is Bob Pace.
Hi, good evening. This is just me, or my name's Tia.
Okay, Tia.
I talked to you a while back, but then I kind of got hit by a semi and ended up in ICU and UC Davis and all that stuff.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. So did you fully recover, or are you still paralyzed on one side?
I'm still recovering. I still have a mouthful of stitches, so I won't be able to talk for very long. And just barely out of the hospital. But my daughter, my youngest, that I was given back after they put her through hell and bounced her around all over the place and popped her home. They did all kind of mental damage on my poor baby. I do want to tell you more of that story, but it'll have to be on another night.
How old was your baby? How old was your baby?
Well, she just turned 16 now.
Okay, but when she was taken from you, how old was she when she was taken from you?
She was taken when she was 9.
Okay, so from 9 to 16, she was in the system. Oh, good, that's terrible.
Yeah, they ended up they put her in a mental hospital and everything else. She tried to commit suicide multiple times. She ended up turning to drugs and heavy drinking, and just, her whole life just went downhill. It was terrible. She's actually developed a phobia of hearing little kids crying, which I don't know why yet. I'm getting her back into therapy because her whole life was, it didn't matter. Even when she was like 2 years old, she'd find the 1-year-old and take him under her wing and wanted to help him, and she just was always just naturally, drawn to littler kids, and to helping them, that's what she did. She volunteered and she went and taught the ABCs when she was in 3rd grade. She'd go teach the ABCs to the kindergartners and stuff, She was just, it was passion, and they took it from her.
Okay.
But she was actually in a semi-accident with me. She was okay. She bit her tongue in half, and they were able to sew it back on and stuff, but she actually saved my life because they didn't, nobody thought I was alive, that my truck had caught on fire because the semi hit us in the back and it slammed us into a tree. And the back end of the semi hit my truck and the fuel spilt all over and it caught us on fire. And she came back and because pacifiers had stopped and they helped her out, but they thought I was dead because my whole top of my head was crushed. And she came back and pushed me out of the truck, and she melted her whole arm, and she got bruised ribs and stuff. But she's doing a lot better. She's definitely doing a lot better. But she's
good
my
to hear
hero.
Well,
so,
your mother's the hero for trying to fight. You're the hero because you were able to get your daughter back.
It was just because they got tired of it, and they couldn't make any more money off her. She started costing them money. That's the only reason I got her back.
Yeah, I believe it.
It didn't matter what I did. They gave me no options, nothing that I could do. I begged the judge. I told him, how will you help me with my bare hands? I'll do every program that you have. Just tell me anything. I will do anything for my kids.
Yeah.
And he told me to talk to my attorney. My attorney refused to talk to me. The entire couple of years, he never talked to me, not once, except for sitting in the courtroom. I went to his door. I was polite. I tried sending emails. I tried sending letters. I tried phone conferences. I set up meetings with him. Never once did he talk to me.
Okay, Tia. Question. I'd like to pause one moment here. Leica, you just want to tell all of us that my 6-year-old angel of a daughter is coming home. All glory to God. Well, thank you. Thank you, Leica, for sharing that. She's the girl from South Africa. She called in about a week ago, and she wants to call in again. So I'm glad to hear that, Leica. That's good news. I think Tia's happy. I know Faye's happy. I'm so glad for all the conversations tonight that people are talking. Just me as Tia. And we have Faye from Richmond, Kentucky, who's been on my show numerous times and as a co-host and so forth. So we're here to help each other. And also, by you talking to my phone, did you know you qualify for a free 15-minute private Zoom meeting with Vincent Davis? Did you know that?
That's okay, Shayla, for somebody that's still fighting to get their kids.
I know. Well,
I got my daughter back, and I got a plan.
I understand. I just said if
cross country, from California to Washington D.C., and I'm going to show up on the White House door. And I want to meet with the president. I want to meet with Congress. I want to meet with the senators, because this has got to stop. The injustice that is happening to families, the lack of due process, the running over of our constitutional rights, the destroying of families and children and lives. I mean, even if you get your kid back, you've ruined a life.
Oh, it's ruined a family. My family.
It scarred them. So
right.
I'm going on foot from California to Washington, D.C. as soon as I'm healed.
When I lost my family, I've lost, one child permanently, but then the half of my other children don't have anything to say to us. The child I lost permanently doesn't talk to us. So I'm down to 2 children. I lost a home. I've lost all my credit scores. I've lousy credit. I've even lost, my wife is barely hanging in. We've had, 32 years of marriage, and then so she's barely hanging in there. So I've lost a lot. And it's like I was saying tonight, starting off there tonight was very bad for me for Thanksgiving. I went out and got the Thanksgiving meal, but then my family was split to where they go. So my sons went to their sister's place. And so we're going to try to have Thanksgiving maybe Saturday or Sunday. But I'm a very family man, and I know what it is. And, I'm blessed still. Go ahead.
I said, and you lost it because they did that on purpose. The foster people, the CPS, they alienate your kids.
Yes, they do. They make up lies. They make up lies.
I got her back.
Right.
We rarely talk, and it's because she has a bad feeling when she's around me, and there's no reason for it. I wasn't abusive. My children were my everything, and I gave up my home. I own a house, a 3-bedroom, nice house on 2 acres. But I stopped going there when they took my kids because it wasn't a home anymore. I went to living in my truck. Going didn't matter what I house, and my life had made it.
I had to sell my home.
I was going to get my kids back. I couldn't be there. I literally lived in the woods and in my truck for the last couple of years. And when they gave me my daughter back, when I was living in a flippin' truck.
Yeah.
And it was just out of the blue. I happened to be down there at the courthouse, and I found out that they had a hearing the day before because they didn't know what they were going to do with my kid. Nobody had informed me that they were doing anything with her. Nobody had told me she was in a mental ward. And they just said, oh, yeah, here, you can have her back. And my life was destroyed at that point. When they took him, I had a home that I lived in, and they were going to school with nice clothes, and I had full cupboards of food, and everything was nice. When they gave her back to me, I was in my truck, and at my lowest of low, I just found out it put me in the hospital because my heart stopped.
Yeah.
It literally broke my heart. I have systemic heart failure now. And
it does.
It killed me taking my kids. What they do is horrible, and I'm so sorry that they managed to alienate your kids too, but no, you're not alone, and you'll be in my prayers.
Yeah, I know. It's the hardest thing. I mean, if I had to do it all over again, I would never have had this happen. I did not know. I have some rules I made up. Besides rule number one, having an attorney, like Mr. Davis. Rule number two is organize your documents, make a notebook, and have a timeline incident log. I did not keep track of all the incidents, and they were so important because.
I did.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
No good. It did no good. I have 56 videos proving the police harassment, plus probably another 30 plus videos of the CPS harassment.
Yeah.
I have every conversation, I have every conversation and every meeting documented. I have audio notes on it where I've taken the audio notes and written it down, but I have my audio notes to back up my proof. And it did no good because the judge would look at it. The judge refused to look at any of it. They didn't want to see my proof. So it is a good idea, to document, but sometimes it doesn't do any good.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
Well, the other thing is that my rule,
look at it.
right? My rule number 3 is you don't talk to CPS or the police. You don't let them in your home, and you don't let them take your child. I did not know the laws. They have to have a warrant to take your child, or a warrant to look in your home.
They went and took my kids out of youth group. They had no warrant. They had not had any problem.
If you know the law, you can tell them it's illegal to do that. The problem was I didn't know the law.
But when the judge is not on your side, when the judge won't look at the law, that's the problem I had. I had the law on my side. And what they did was illegal. I even learned all of their policies from Modoc County, California. Their personal policies, they went against them, but nobody cared. Nobody. That's why I'm making this trip, and I'm doing it in a big way. I happen to raise, I used to raise wolf dogs, and now I just have my pack.
Yeah.
And I'm raising my one last team, and I don't know how else to get noticed, but God's put it in my heart. He keeps telling me to walk. And I'm taking my wolf team, and I'm going from here into Washington, D.C., and I'm going to show up at the White House door, and I hope to draw as much attention to CPS and to the injustices going on along the way that I possibly can.
Well, you say hello to Donald Trump. You say hello to Donald Trump and make sure he takes care of this matter. Because
I definitely will. I'll say hello to him, and I'm going to tell him, and I'm going to show him the proof. Whether or not he takes care of it, I hope he does, and he seems like the kind of man that would.
Right. Well, they need a special cabinet member. Yeah, they need a special. Yeah, there's a special cabinet member you need to be in charge of CPS. They have cabinet members, charge Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, Housing, Indian Affairs, so forth. They need one for child protection. They need that because they have children that all the time are going there. Now, Faye just said a message. She says the same. Faye from Richmond, Kentucky was diagnosed with acute systemic heart failure caused by a broken heart syndrome, which then destroyed my kidneys, my lungs, and when one organ fails, it's due into effect, sadly. And so that is Faye's experience.
It's killing people.
Yeah,
literally.
It does.
Even people parents that survive and they don't take their own life, it kills you anyway. To take your child, it kills you. And
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. If it was anybody else, if it was Joe Blow Scott down the fucking road, down the road, they came and got your kids, you would be a hero if you went and beat the hell out of Joe Blow Scott and you got your kid back. And people would rally around you and they would help you.
Well,
you could call the cops. Call for help.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. Faye says.
The only thing she must have done something.
Right.
Nobody helps you.
Right. Faye says
it's horrible.
Right. Faye says it's a domino effect. It's a domino effect.
It is. It is, and they know it, and they do it on purpose. They don't go after rich people's kids.
Well, one of the advocates, I don't know if you heard about this one person. One of the persons as an advocate against fighting CPS, she was murdered. It was Nancy Schaefer. She's my age. She's in her 70s. And she was murdered because she was fighting CPS. They did not like her. She was a senator from Georgia. And
yeah, Yeah, I seen some of her videos.
Yes. So there are people. I know that 2 years ago, there's a group of people marching on my capital, Sacramento, in California, about how bad CPS is. The other day, Faye and I called the Capitol. By the way, you guys can all call not the Capitol, but Congress. There's a working number. There's an operator, and you can get the number of the senator you need to talk to. We did that. It worked. But when we call the senator, they don't get back to you. They don't get back to you.
No, they don't.
But I was surprised.
No, I tried the senator. I tried the Congress. Right. I tried the governor. I tried everything.
Yeah, I was so surprised how easy it was to call Congress and speak to a live voice.
But it's just the secretary. Usually, that's all you get. That's all. Well,
yeah. Well, this was a operator, but she was very courteous, and I told her what we were trying to do. We're trying to help out Faye in Kentucky, and we wanted to speak to the senator of New York. I forgot his name already, but there's the one that directed to us. So, that is approachable. Now, like I did say, some more things she says. She just said from South Africa, but I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to tell the parliament, and I'm going to write the rules and regulations standing with procedures. They have a parliament in South Africa. It's not a Congress. They're going to have a parliament because they're very British. British always uses a parliament. When we settled in North America, somehow we developed a Congress instead of a parliament. And she says, I need women from all over the world to support me. And I believe that, Leica. That's Leica and Hartzenberg. And you right now have Faye, and you have Tia, who's just me supporting you. And you probably have KK Richardson. You'll have Natalie from West Hollywood, California. KK's from New York. You have a lot of women on my store.
And I'll get my sister, and I'll get every woman that I can to help support.
Yes,
I think that's what we need. We need.
Yes.
They keep this in the dark, and we need to bring light onto it. It needs to have a shining light that is so bright they can't ignore.
Right.
That's how they do it. They get away with it because they segregate us, and it makes each person alone. And we shouldn't have to fight this alone. There are two or more gathered I am there, and that is what God says. Well, I say let's show up in a mass. Let's make a noise. And if you can't go somewhere, we need to have somewhere that people could post online and where it shows all the CPS incidents. Every time if you report, it shows the county and the town and where it happened. And so people when they're moving, they can go, oh shoot, I don't want to move there because there's way too much CPS activity. But also where you can go in there and you can put the number and be like, hey, help! This is me. This is what happened, and post the number to the sheriffs and the courthouse and everybody.
Right.
And everybody that can call that number. If we come out and we support each other in mass, there's more of us than there are of them. And you know what? Enough's enough.
Yes.
We've got to make our voices heard, and we can't make our voices heard if we're not in a group, if we're not loud, if we don't gather, then they'll scatter us. And I don't want to be scattered. I don't want to sit alone in the dark in a room and cry myself to sleep anymore.
I don't blame you.
Talk to me when I did nothing wrong.
That's right, Tia.
Other people like you saying, and I can't. My memory's so messed up. I can't remember the other lady's name, but the lady in South Africa.
Leica. Her name is Leica. Leica Hartzenberg. Leica Hartzenberg.
People are going through this. You are not alone. And the only way we'll stop being alone, because me just saying it doesn't make it.
Right.
The only way that we can make it happen is if we make it happen. We got to put one foot in front of the other. We got to raise our hand and say, hey, I am here and I am with you. And we got to make sure that the people that are in charge know that they are not, because they are not. It's we the people. And even in Africa, they may have a parliament and we may have a Congress, but it doesn't matter. We the people, we are God's children. But by whatever name, I'm not a religious person. I don't, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Jew. I'm not a Catholic. I believe in God, the creator of all. I believe in his son and Jesus, and I know that he stands behind families. He said, go forth and procreate. He told us to have families, and if we gather, then our voices are going to be heard because we got his backing.
Right.
Anyways, my mouth is really sore, and so I'm going to hang up and listen to the rest of the program. But thank you. I wasn't trying to interrupt, but
thank you. Thank you for remembering me, Tia, because I have been doing the show for over a year, over 700 shows, 1 hour long, and I've talked to over 600 people. So I have a wealth of information that I've shared, and you're right on, Tia, and I'm so glad that your daughter of 16 is rejoining, and I hope that in time you both can recover and once again have a nice Thanksgiving or Christmas or all the family outings there. I think all of you, I want that too. So, Faye, question for you, Faye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving
to you.
Happy
holidays, and I'll be praying for each and every one of you. And there's thousands every month in every county. There is close to 1,000, if not thousands of children that are being affected every month in every county, in every state. When you look it up, the statistics are horrible. So we need to be praying for all of them too. And God bless y'all. Happy holidays, and I'm out.
Okay, Tia, thank you for calling in. Okay, you listeners, that was Tia from Modoc County in California. She got back her daughter who was taken at 9 and now is 16, but is really messed up. She's messed up. I tell you, what child protection system does, it messes you up. All you have to do is look at those 8 ladies in Arizona, Prescott, Arizona. Now, Prescott, Arizona was known for 4 Billy Jack movies of the 60s and 70s, but it's also known for the Pink Ladies. These were 8 social workers, all women, that decided to get pink T-shirts, and it was not breast cancer awareness. What they stenciled on the front of the T-shirt was professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they put, parents, do you know where your children are at? That was the message they were conveying when they walked at Costco, Kmart, Walmart, Target, Best Buys, Penny, Sears, all the big chain stores. And they were fired when they got caught, as well as the director. That wiped out the child protection system there. That was called the Department of Children's Services, DCS. They had one person left to do everything, and that hurt protect the children that need protection. Just like that little 5-year-old girl that was abused and raped and then sent out to the wilds and was found, and they could not save her. Think about it. A child at 5, they should have a long life to live. I mean, we have incidents worldwide that's happening all the time. Children around the world are being murdered. And it's not only in our, United States, but it's around the world. So we need an agency that wants to be honest, that wants to protect our children, that wants to do the best interests of our children. And families. Don't forget, families is an important part of it. If a family has a mistake, they can take a parenting class, or they can do a drug rehab program, and they can be returned. It's very important you return family. There was the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978 that was finally passed to protect Indian children. What was happening for a long time since they were put on reservations in the 1870s, when CPS was involved, they would not do family reunification. Indian families lost their children right away. It took them almost 100 years to finally say, if they are Indian children and they are registered with one of the 548 Indian tribes, or they could be registered like 25% Indian blood, then the Indian tribe would take care of them. They would put them with the Indian family on the reservation and reunite them with their family. And they took them out of CPS hands. CPS couldn't adopt them. And we need to have President Trump counter that law, that Clinton signed a law that says the incentive program is no longer. There should not be a quota about how much you put them in foster care. The absolute best way for children is in family reunification. And if it takes a while, it takes a while. The children should be with family members. They should not be in foster care. Foster care is corrupt. Foster parents abuse children. Their own children will bully the foster kids. That is the answer. Foster care is an easy way to adopt a child. You don't have to pay money. You don't have to wait a long time. You're not properly trained. It's so easy to get a child if you want one. You just volunteer for CPS's foster program or go on there. So I'm telling you right now, we have about 10 minutes left of the program. Let me go ahead and Leica from South Africa says that she was diagnosed with heart failure 4 years ago. My heart was working on 26%. I'm still here and have improved. Let me tell you something. When God says no, nobody can say yes. You know, you're so right. You know, your faith in God is amazing, Leica. Now, here are 3 women that don't know each other. Faye from Richmond, Kentucky, Lakeland from the western province of South Africa, and Tia, who's just me, from Modoc, California, all had similar things, or broken heart. My heart breaks all the time right now. I have not been the same since my kids were taken. And I've been doing this for 15 years. And this past year, I have not missed one day on my podcast. I've been on twice a day and over 700 shows. And that's a lot of talking. That's a lot of trying to reach out. I want to help people because I care about you all. When I hear you guys get your children back, I'm so happy. But I want to share with you. I want to tell you things that will help you. You cannot talk to social workers. You cannot talk to CPS. You cannot talk to the police. Everything you say will be used against you. You need an attorney. You need an attorney to represent you. If I'd known that, I would have got an attorney first thing out of the gate. And I would never let them in my home. Too many people are being shot at when they answer the door. And furthermore, your children, you don't have to give them up. Don't meet with them at their office, and don't let them come in your home. Meet at a neutral place like McDonald's or Starbucks. It's a public setting, and you can document them. You can record everything. So that is important there to think about. And Jesse Vargos, God bless you too. Jesse's new. I have not seen Jesse before. I'm not sure where you're from, Jesse Vargos, but welcome. Let me see. We got Leica here. You may call me at any time. I want to support these parents emotionally because this is the most terrifying hurt that ever exists. And this is a woman from South Africa. You have to understand, CPS worldwide is evil. CPS in the United States is evil. And what I mean by that is the majority of the social workers do not care. They only care about the $1 trillion business they're making. There's too many incentive programs. Too easy way. They jack up the pricing. My 3 children in Kentucky, each of them was getting $20,000 a month to the CPS in Orange County. And that Orange County CPS is so corrupt. I met with the director who had an office, his own personal office, that looked like the Taj Mahal of India or the Emerald City of the Wizard of Oz. I mean, that was my director. And I tried to talk to him to make some sense because he didn't want to hear it to me. I have no problem talking to CEOs of this country, whether it's Musk, Trump, Zuckerberg, or Ken Lewis of Bank of America. That's not a problem. That's not a problem talking to them because they're approachable people, but they can help you. And I see hopefully a smooth road ahead. Right now, I know there's a lot of people fighting what's being done, but Trump is making differences right now. He's got 19 cabinet members. When he was first turned off, he only had 4. So he knows from experience. And when he won his election, he's been working every day. Yes, he does attend functions, but he's a businessman. And all you need to do, and government should not be unapproachable. He has 2 people with Musk that are going to get rid of the dead, the overpaid, and people that don't do anything in government. They get paid $1 for staying at home or twiddling their thumbs, get paid hundreds of dollars. So I know there's a lot of people in this world that are worried to death, but he wants no wars. He wants to end the wars. He wants to put tariffs. He wants to improve the world. He wants to bring down the cost of gas, the cost of food. And he's doing all this ahead of time. He's the only candidate that said he wants to do something, and he's doing something. Everybody else has been bad-mouthing him, want him impeached, want him criminally arrested. They will dig up anything they want to. But he smiles, he keeps working hard, and I think we're going to get his help with CPS. I know we will. Now, Leica says something more now. She says, I went through all alone. No family, no friends, no colleagues, just my 2 dogs, and most important, Jesus. Never left me for a split second. There you go. You have to have a faith in God. You have to have a faith in God. And Leica can tell you all about it. A loner there. All right. She needs to say goodbye for now. You take care. God bless you for dropping in your second time here. And I look forward to seeing you again. Leica from South Africa. My show time is about, I got about 4 more minutes that I got to end the show. I have to end it at 4 o'clock. And so I'm getting pretty close to the end of my podcast. So is there anything else you'd like to say, Faye? Anything you'd like to say in closing? You want to call in for 4 minutes, Faye, or 3 minutes? And Jesse Vargas, I have no idea where you're from, but thank you. For you, saying what you said. God bless me. So that is really, really good. We've had an interesting group of people. We've had Leica, who's second time from South Africa, and she said a lot tonight. We have Faye Manling, my regular host here from Richmond, Kentucky, who adds some really great insight on things. We have a new person, Jesse Vargas, and then we had just me, who came back from a horrible injury. Her name is Tia from Mona, California, and I'm glad to see her back. And then again, who else? Did I leave anybody else out here? I think I got everybody in here. Yeah, I think I got everybody in here. So I wanted to say thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful that I know you guys, and that I'm thankful I'm able to do this and do some help to keep your kids safe and to keep your families intact. Keep fighting for your kids. Do not give up. And I will see you all tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Jesse Vargas is from Sacramento, California. All right. We have a well-versed group of people. We had about 10 people in the room tonight. So that's good. 1 international person from South Africa. So I'm so glad that all of you joined my room. So I'll see you. I'll be on again tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget, at 4 o'clock, I come on tomorrow night. Not at 7, but 3 hours early at 4 o'clock. So God bless you all, and keep fighting for your kids. Vincent's going to talk for you about a minute. And so this is Bob Pace.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.